Welcome back to the show, everyone. My guest again is Jeremy Cox. You know him on Twitter as CryptoSipto. Jeremy's going to take us again into the wonderful world of NFTs. And Jeremy, take it away.
All right. Well, thank you again for having me. And last week we kind of gave a crash course, if you will, like for a total beginner, like what are NFTs and how does it all work, and um, exploring the marketplaces. But after you've done that, and then you've kind of decided that you wanted to kind of go a little bit further and potentially get into this from a trying to buy something that's going to be worth more in the future perspective, then you'd want to start kind of looking at the different projects. And I picked a couple to talk about tonight that that really have legs, if you will, and have a lot of marketing and like branding behind them. Because last week I think we talked about how it's like a popular opinion is that there's three pieces to the puzzle of NFTs. You got to have a community that's built around the market, the brand, and then you got to have marketability, like you like a marketing strategy and how you're going to like push it out, and then you got to have a story, like the story that these NFTs are telling.
Right.
And one of the craziest ones that's out there that really caught fire, probably like I'd say about January, February of this year, was NBA Top Shots. And the NBA Top Shots, I'm going to share my screen really quick here and kind of show you, if you haven't seen what the Top Shots marketplace looks like yet. But this is the marketplace, and I picked up uh, uh, basically the top selling cards that are out there right now. And so if you look at this J.A. Morant. I don't follow NBA, so I don't know if it's Ja or J.A. But this is the top selling card right now that's on the market for $240,000, and this is a card that came out of a pack that was maybe $14. They have been doing some crazy pack offerings where the packs have been selling for up to $1,000, and the way that whole thing works is depending on uh, the rarity of the cards and what you're going to get. Are they all stars? Are they really low mints, or super rare cards? But it's pretty much a lottery system. And when you buy the pack and you open it up, you don't know what you're going to get. So somebody has opened up this card in their pack and is now deciding that they want to try to sell it for $240,000. Whether or not it's going to sell is another question, but there have been some cards that have been selling for six figures on the site. And what's more important is to kind of look at what you're getting. So you're an NBA fan and you hear about Top Shots, you're like, I want it, and then you see these cubes, you're like, well, what exactly is it? Well, the actual NFT itself, uh, in Top Shots land, it actually plays a clip of this play, right? And they're all different depending on whether it's a dunk or a layup or what have you. But this actually also goes into like the details. So it'll give you the stats, and pretty much in the world of NFTs, it's considered to be like metadata. So there's all the stuff that's behind the actual card itself, right? Um, but really effectively, what you're paying for more than anything is this video clip, and this is where it kind of makes it really interesting that old school trading cards were just cards that you could lose in a fire. Uh, they could rip just touching them. These things, they're never going to go anywhere. They're digital copies, so or digital files that aren't they live on the cloud. So there are questions of where these are being stored, and that's something else to take into consideration, as far as there have been story or concerns that somebody might have their NFTs or the NFTs on a file on a server that all of a sudden goes away, and then you can't access those NFTs anymore, and you're pretty much like out of luck, right? But let's not talk. That's like that is a concern and something you should be worried about. But in the world of Top Shots, the company that put this together they're called Dapper Labs, and Dapper Labs is responsible for CryptoKitties, which is pretty much like the OG crypto or NFT project from 2017. And those things have come back, with a vengeance as far as uh, the like resurgence. And you couldn't give them away 2 years ago, and now everybody wants a CryptoKitty. And they have an interesting little mechanism too, as far as the gamification of you get these kitties, and they're kind of random, and then you can build on them to make them more rare and more valuable. But other projects that Dapper Labs, and it's like the Flow marketplace. This is all also built under Flow. And something else I would mention too is that with Top Shots, and pretty much it's going to be the other projects like Dr. Seuss is coming to Flow, and also UFC. They are making it so that when you purchase a Top Shots, like you go to the packs right here, and you're looking at, actually tomorrow, they're going to be dropping the next pack sale, and it's a $14 pack that you can get it. Let's see if they're. Let me expand my screen here so I can see. My eyes are bad. So these are like the packs that they've already sold out. So you can see like they did a $229 pack drop. The down here you'll see the ones that are, where is it, $99. There's a couple back here that dropped for, the top was $1,000, $230. Oh wow, it's not actually listed as, I'm not listing the $1,000 pack. So anyway, you'd be able to jump in and buy a pack of cards. You'd have to log in or sign up, and then you put in your email address, and then they'll send you updates when those cards are, when the next pack is going to drop. And they'll be doing that again, like for Dr. Seuss and UFC. But you're literally going to be putting in your credit card in order to buy these packs. So then the next really cool that we talked about a little bit site is the Wax, and Atomic Hub is their marketplace for Wax. This makes it a little bit different from Top Shots, where these are all of the different brands that are selling on Atomic Hub. And so, and you see like Atari here, you see deadmau5, you've got my friend Crypto Stash, he sells his NFTs here. And we talked about it last week, the Garbage Pail Kids, all of Garbage Pail Kids are here. Street Fighter, let's click on Street Fighter really quick, because here's something I wanted to mention, that Street Fighter has an interesting gamification that's kind of built into all this, where you're buying these cards and you're getting base cards in the packs, and you can still buy packs of them. Like the packs have already been sold, but there are people that are willing to sell their packs on a secondary market, and then you buy them and you open them up and you get your base cards, and then you use those base cards to level up. And when you level up, you create more rare, like power cards. And so if you see here, we'll go to like the highest listings just for fun. Highest prices. So some people are stupid, not stupid, just advantageous. They're hoping that somebody's going to spend whatever this price is, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 1, 0 wax, which let's look it up and see that they want, is that 30 million? No, 300 million. No, it's even more than that. I think that's 3 billion, 900 million, 876,518.
So they're just playing games, basically.
They're playing games. Yeah, this is somebody that's like, yeah, right. I don't think there's enough wax out there to buy this. But the more realistic like cards that are being placed up here, like you've got these Power 5 cards, and see how they've got like animation behind them. The more rare and the more like valuable the cards are, they're going to be doing little flash animations, or they're going to have borders around them or something. Here's a good one to look at. This one's selling for we can go in halvesies on this. It's only $2,924,000. We'll buy it and we'll share it, right?
No.
Yeah, not so much. So you got Street Fighter, but they're again the kind of gamification that they're putting into it, and there are a lot of projects that are built on Wax that play that whole kind of like game, some sort of like either trading up or burning cards. When you burn cards, you literally destroy them, and you're destroying two or three or however many to create the next level card. Um, there's also companies that are or NFT projects that are selling their like their game items or game elements that are going to be used in games in the future right now that are basically, if you're buying into it, you're buying the future of like wanting to be able to participate in some game either with cards or with items or what have you. But another really interesting one is this one down here, Bitcoin Origins. um, Bitcoin Origins is actually putting together if you get into this project, when you buy your NFTs, they come in blocks, and the blocks are let me go back here and see if I can show you a block. They're um, blocks. Here we go. They're like megabyte blocks. So the 1 megabyte block and the 4 megabyte block, they all have these cards that are inside of them, and those cards are actually uh, there's clues inside the cards, and if you can solve the puzzle, then the end, like whoever solves the puzzle is going to get a Bitcoin. So it's kind of an interesting little thing. They have a full like community around trying to find the clues that are hidden inside these cards to be able to, and they all get together too, and there's a Telegram channel that's like, what are they trying to say, and um, whoever's going to solve the puzzle again is going to be rewarded with a full Bitcoin, which is a cool little marketing concept, going back to the marketing or the story that they're telling. Because another thing they're actually telling with these cards is kind of the whole history of Bitcoin. They have a genesis. They have moments in time, like the first, the genesis block when the first Bitcoin was mined, and it's just a really really cool concept, right? Um, then you've also got the idea of when you buy these cards, and what we're looking at for the most part, not even for the most part, what is the secondary market. Everything that you see on here has already been sold as a drop, and somebody has bought them, and then they're putting them onto the secondary market to resell them for hopefully for a higher value, right? And so we were kind of talking before we started this that there are potentially going to be a lot of people that are going to be left holding a lot of crypto, a lot of NFTs that might not be worth anything, at least in the short term. If things fall apart tomorrow, and somebody's holding, just for fun, let's look at Atari ones. These are playing trading for anywhere between like $4. There's a $45 one, but you'd have to be an Atari fan in order to want to even buy these. They'll give you some nostalgia or whatever. But if everything starts going down in price and nobody wants to buy these anymore, then you're stuck holding these and you can't sell them. The projects that are really going to withstand the bubble popping and coming back out, if there is this bubble that bursts 2 or 3 years from now, another resurgence of NFTs will hit, and all of these will come back. And the projects that still had the story behind them and the community will be able to be resold for 5 to 10 times their value. Not investment or financial advice, but this is one thing that you could potentially take a shot on and see if the values will increase over time. There are some things that literally they put them up and they sell out in like 20 seconds, and there are other ones that it takes a while. The funny thing, going back to Top Shots, was that when they were first doing it, they couldn't give their packs away. They were sitting on the market for like a week, 2 weeks, and they were selling, here and there. And now when this drop that they're going to do tomorrow, I think it's something like 10,000 packs or something. I don't remember the numbers correct exactly, but they'll have 300,000 people in line to buy like 10,000 packs or 20,000 packs that are available, and they sell out. And then it's pretty much like, sorry, they're gone. When they're gone, they're gone. And they haven't built in a situation where you can buy the packs, but that's coming. So eventually you're going to be able to sell the packs back to a secondary market, like garbage pail kids. So this is a interesting little concept that garbage pail kids are available on Atomic Hub, and you can go here and you can kind of play with if you wanted to buy some packs that aren't available anymore, you can get in here. And their Food Fight was one of the most recent ones. Food Fight is an interesting project because inside these real like packs of cards that they were selling at Walmart and Target, they actually had NFTs inside of them. You get like one NFT in the box, and if you collected one of those, then that kind of brings you into this NFT space. If you might just be a physical card collector, then it's like, oh, redeem this on the blockchain, and now you have your first NFT version garbage pail kid. But most of them, especially like the new version of garbage pail kids, are all on the blockchain and they're sold like this. And one of the things that Atomic Hub lets you do is you can see the price variations, or like the history. So this one kind of came out. You could have sold it for $10, and then it kind of fluctuated a little bit, and now you're seeing that it's spiking up again. Whether it's going to trend up even higher is another story. But the minimum price that it was sold for 582, and the max price was 606. And if these, when they first came out, were like $5. So even still, you double your money if you bought a couple of these packs. Then the other like area that you can kind of play with garbage pail kids is on gpk.market. And gpk.market is a basically like the main site for garbage pail kids, but it's also a hub for blockchain heroes, which is another cryptocurrency or a Bitcoin story that's being told with these cards. And cogs, if you remember cogs, the little flippers, they have a whole thing of cogs that are here in their market that you can open up. And there's packs. And then, but I think the packs of these are already, this is all secondary market stuff. You'd be buying this from someone else. And that's, that's another interesting thing to look at, is that when you're clicking on these individual packs, these sellers' wallets are listed, and you would be basically making this purchase from this individual that bought it 3 months ago, 4 months ago, whatever, and was holding on to it to try to sell it for a higher value. The seller is this one right here, all ALLR4.WAM. And so these are all of the like all the wallets for Wax or .WAM addresses. So these are the actual individual cogs that would be coming out of those packs when you bought them. And they're basically almost not identical, but they're very similar versions to those cogs that you would get. Then the last one that we're going to look at is this fun. Remember, what is it? Spock? No, Spock. Scotty. Beam me up, Scotty. William Shatner.
Captain Kirk.
Captain Kirk. There you go. See, I didn't watch TV when I was growing up, so I missed all of this whole like Star Trek and everything else. But Captain Kirk decided that he was going to make his own NFTs, and this has been out for a while now. But what you end up doing with these is just like the Street Fighter, that you would buy your base cards, and your base cards are in the packs, and then you literally combine these cards. They're called shards, so like they're like pieces of a puzzle, if you will, and you combine those to trade up and make more valuable cards. Like this is shard number 3, shard number 2. These are different like shards that are like levels of the cards. So he's got his own little game that's being played too. And as these cards get get higher in like rarity or value per se. They might flash, they might go from, you know, black and white or like this X-ray to like regular. But he didn't have the craziest like hype or buzz behind his launches. They weren't like totally crazy. But this would be a situation where you'd be buying this because you're a big Captain Kirk or William Shatner fan, right? And then holding on to them. And again, they're fun to look at, but um, what these are going to do in the future is anybody's guess, which is why it's always important to do your own research whenever you're getting into any of these things. So if you start getting interested in NFTs, then your first thing that you're going to want to do is actually look at the NFT project. And if it's already something that's out, what is it looking like on the secondary market? To go back to Garbage Pail Kids here, and a better place to look at sales is actually on Atomic Hub, because you can go to, let's go to series one. Let's go for like a good one is like Blasted Billy. He's one of the, like, it's Blasted Billy and Atom Bomb, right? You can go and you can see the price history. So when this first came out, right out of the pack last year in August, it was 44.13, and then it kind of played around a little bit, went down to 23, and now it's 188.52. So when you think about what these packs were sold for like $5, and you got 5 cards in a pack, so they would kind of be worth, you know, about $1 each. But that dollar card is now worth $188.52. If you go to the big one, which would be Atom Bomb, let's see if he pops up. Atom Bomb here, which is also like, they have different variations. This is a prism where it's got these little flashy stuff on here. Somebody wants $1,100 for this card. And here's the price history of this one. When it first came out, it resold for $190, $195, and then for $204, then a little bit less for $200, but now it's, the asking price is $1,154. So your return on your investment for something like this, if somebody's willing to buy it again, is pretty outrageous, right? I like Garbage Pail Kids, so I'd be like, if I'm going to keep it and hold on to it for 4 or 5 years and kind of wait to see what happens, then I'm cool with it. But you'd want to do your own research and kind of see, like, what is it? What are the resale values? Like, are there people actually buying them? And then another way to go about this is to actually look at the cryptocurrency itself. And there are a couple different cryptocurrencies that are associated with NFTs. And it just so happens that CoinGecko will already filter out all of the NFT coins by market cap. And so here was the one that we were talking about, Flow. That's your NBA Top Shots. And then what we were just looking at is Wax. Did I miss it? Yeah, Wax is right here. So Wax is the number 12 coin. It's selling for, you can buy it for 26 cents. You can go in here and just decide, I don't care about the NFTs. I know that those NFTs are bought with Wax though. So I'm just going to buy some Wax and sit on it and hold it and see what happens to the value of the Wax coin, right? Another one that I'm going to talk about in probably the next video or two is Phantasma. We have a project that's going to be launching here in about a month, and we're going to be using the Ghost Market and the Phantasma chain. And Phantasma is interesting because the Soul coin is what you use to actually buy the cryptocurrency, the cryptocurrency, you buy the NFTs with, but what you're using to mint the NFTs, and I don't know if this is going to be listed, it should, when you're going to mint your NFT on the Ghost Market, let me just search it here. You do it with a coin called KCAL. And so this is like the Phantasma energy. So KCAL is 7 cents. You can actually stake your soul in your Phantasma wallet, and they'll pay you KCAL for just holding it, which is another, like, the whole thing on DeFi and staking your coins. You'd be basically getting 2% of your soul staking in kcal every day that you're holding. So you can play the coins that are behind the NFTs, or you can play the companies that are actually behind the NFTs. If you're interested in taking another level out, you go and you just look for the companies that are developing these NFTs or the the whole ecosystem, and some of them are actually publicly traded companies. Um, but you want to do your own research and you want to see if it's worth it to you. Um, we're also kind of in that space. We haven't mentioned Ethereum yet, but we're going to talk about it for one last second to kind of close out this conversation. That most of the NFTs in the space are built on some sort of like Ethereum marketplace or Ethereum blockchain. And when you're on Ethereum, I'm going to show you something really fun. This is one of my favorite news sites. No, I've known it for about a month now. txstreet.com. And so if I decide that I want to buy something that's on OpenSea or on Rarible, uh, I have to go in there, and I'm going to have to pay this gas fee, which right now actually it's pretty cheap. This thing goes anywhere between, I've seen it as low as $70 and I've seen it as high as $200 in order to buy the NFT. So because you have to pay the transaction fee, and Ethereum is super congested right now, so you have to pay a lot of money in order to buy that NFT. That has to be worth it to you too, because if you're going in it from an investment perspective, you're already also going to have to recoup the price that you're paying for it in gas. So, but this site really quickly too is a visual representation of what's actually happening on the Ethereum blockchain in real time. And most of these people that are sitting here are actually not NFT people. They're DeFi people. And they're trying to get a DeFi transaction going through. And there's literally every minute, like tens of millions of dollars that are going through the Ethereum network to go into some sort of a DeFi situation, smart contract, and they're willing to pay whatever it takes in order to get the very next seat on the bus. They want to be in this bus right here, so they'll pay if it's 90. If it's 90, did it just go up? Where's the median gas? 89.25. They'll pay 100 to make sure that they're on that bus. So anybody that's on this bus right now that was paying 89.25 is going to have to get off the bus. Those people, those kids that just got off the bus made way for the new people that got on the bus that are willing to pay more. So it's a supply and demand thing. If there's more people that are demanding that their transaction goes through, the supply of seats on the bus there's only so many, so they'll have to pay more for it. So Ethereum is kind of tricky, where a lot of people have already kind of decided they don't even want to deal with. I'm going to stop sharing my screen now because it starts to get a little like you're watching South Park. They don't want to deal with it. They don't want to play with having to pay anywhere between $70 and $200 in order to buy an NFT that might only be worth $50 to $100. It makes sense once you get past like $300 or $400 for the NFT. Then you're like, okay, I can kind of understand paying $100 to actually get the NFT. But a lot of people are like already over it. They're like, nope, I'll either wait for the gas price to go down, or I don't need that NFT that bad,
So do you think it's safe to say that there's a lot of people who are in NFTs on the art side, but just as many on the staking and the buying the crypto side?
I think there's probably more people right now that are looking at from an art perspective and like actually buying some form of artistic expression, be it a piece of art, be it music. You can buy music like full albums as an NFT now. You can also buy short films or videos, and then you can even up to buying like virtual real estate between the Sandbox or Decentraland. You can buy these things. Um, there are more people that are looking at it from that side because it's still also it's hot and it's buzzy, than are like, okay, I'm going to take a step back and I'm just going to look at the cryptocurrencies that are powering these marketplaces, and I might want to be buying into that because one of the other projects that's coming to Wax is Major League Baseball. And there's a lot of speculation behind that, that it's a built-in market. People are going to buy them yesterday. They're going to buy them as soon as they hit the market, because MLB, it's like trade, it's like buying uh, what's it called, the actual paper trading cards from back in the day. Only
Mhm.
this is the version 2.0 of it.
Well, I'm because when I saw that, I remember in 2019 they did a Ethereum um, night at Dodger Stadium,
Oh,
and
really?
they were giving away. I forget what it was exactly, but they were like those. They were like little coins,
Hmm.
and each one had a code, the Ethereum address. So if you put that in your wallet, the baseball card appeared on your phone.
Mm,
And I remember it didn't do anything because this was back then before,
yeah,
you know. But I remember hearing it. I was like, "Huh, that's interesting," you know. But it seems like this is what they're trying to. They're just trying to do it again, but this time they might get a little bit more play because everyone knows about NFTs now.
yeah. It's definitely, caught momentum, and there are certain things that it works really elegantly for.
Mhm.
Trading cards are one of them. That it's again, it's the idea of, I had Garbage Pail Kids when I was a kid. I know that a lot of them I stuck. I made they were stickers, so I stuck them on my textbooks or whatever. I keep wanting to go back to my parents' house and see if I was smart enough to put even some of those, because I had them in the little flip books and everything else. Did I put those away? Because those have actually, all trading cards have come back. It was since the NFT craze. It's also caused these physical trading cards to also go up in value.
Mm.
And there is a whole thing, you can go on YouTube and search like pack opening and Garbage Pail Kids, Fleer, Upper Deck, like all these things. There are people that are coming out of the woodwork with these packs, or even Pokemon. I saw some. There's a huge community of Pokemon unpackers that are like literally like, I'm just going to get here and we're just going to open our packs and see what we get. It's nuts because it's kind of fueled by this whole NFT craze.
Right.
And one of the other things that I'm really interested to see is NBA Top Shots is already been talking about the idea that they want to have a fantasy player game that's going to be embedded into the NBA Top Shots. So you're going to be able to create your teams with those cards, and then whatever the game is going to look like in the future, who that's all speculation. But my thought process is that you would be basically, putting together a dream team that would all be of basket of NFTs that are now worth more because you've got LeBron James. Again, I don't know players, so it's like, LeBron James being because I'm from here in LA and the Lakers, or and then that other guy that we were looking at, um, your dream team, and because of that particular combination of players that you would sell as a bundle, it would be worth more to somebody else, because if it was actually playing in a game, and then you were going kind of like fantasy football, where
Mm.
it's like depending on how the games are being played and how those players are doing, you might be building a dream team literally that's like unbeatable, and the value of that package or that bundle would go up based on those individual players like stats.
Right.
And
Right.
I see that's going to be a thing that's going to most likely happen with all of the trading card companies that are really, getting some sort of a gamification idea behind it. Because again, Wax and Major League Baseball, it's almost a given that they're going to be doing something like that with, like, build your dream a baseball team, and start putting it up against other teams. NFL's probably right behind it, so uh, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. But the other thing, like we were talking about, of whether, how long this bubble is going to last, and then when it falls down, which companies and projects are going to sustain and actually, from an investment perspective, be worth it that you are holding it,
Right.
versus I just really like baseball or I like basketball and I'll collect these cards because I love the game, you know.
Right. Well, and I think that's going to be the show of just how much staying power the NFT space has, because once once the realization starts to dawn on people how much people are spending, I think there might be some type of um, slowdown.
Hmm.
But as you say, if you're in it for the art and you just love this picture, then that might not be that big of an issue.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
all right. So why don't we? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just one other thing is to kind of you know think about the future of how things are looking today as opposed to what they're going to look like 10 years from now. And the stuff right now that people are developing are like virtual reality um, NFT projects where it's like you put on these goggles and these NFTs are going to come to life for you in a virtual space, like a virtual art gallery, Uh, then when you take it a step further and you go into augmented reality, there are people that are dreaming up concepts of being able to feature your NFT art on your walls in your house.
Mm,
That when you put on AR glasses, all of
yeah.
a sudden all this art is displayed for you.
Nice.
Uh, and yeah, and you could move it. You could move it from the living room to the bedroom to the whatever, and not have to ever put a nail in the wall or anything. So your blank walls become literally like a canvas. But I think one of the concepts that are really interesting is when you start thinking about like holograms and prisms, and the idea that a futuristic NFT viewer would be some sort of a like a 3D hologram image that's in front of you that's doing things or circling or whatever. But then the other piece of that is the idea of like fusing the physical with the virtual. So if I have an NFT of this item, but I also have the physical piece of it, like this paint, this picture in the background, there could be an NFT that's associated with this, or any number of NFTs. Maybe there's 1,000 prints or copies of this, but I've got the original. And if I've got the original and the NFT that's associated with it, it's creating more value for this piece of art that's on the wall because there's 999 other people out there that have like basically kind of like a print or a lithograph if you think about it in conventional art terms.
Right.
And it's just another like the only limit to NFTs is your imagination and where they're going to go in the future and what we're going to be like, living in some sort of a version of Ready Player One in the future of like literally you're interacting with things that aren't really there, but they are. And this is building the foundation for that right now as we speak. These NFTs are like just kind of, they're the building blocks of it.
Nice. Yes. All right. So we're going to end it right there for this week, everybody. Jeremy, thank you again for taking us down the NFT rabbit hole. We appreciate you
Yeah,
being
man.
our guide. Again, everyone, this is a series. So Jeremy will be back again to take us even further into NFTs, but you have to subscribe to make sure you don't miss that. Jeremy, we're going to link your socials and your Discord group in the description below. So everyone, make sure you take care. Make sure that you check Jeremy out on Twitter. He's at CryptoSipto. And check out his Discord group in the description below. Jeremy, thank you again for talking to me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you again for having me.